Darkness. Silence. A faint vibration trembles through the air. Then, a sudden flash, like a tear in reality itself. Out of nothing, it forms. A black void no larger than a marble, but infinitely dense. A black hole on Earth. Most people would never notice it at first. It wouldn't roar. It wouldn't glow. It wouldn't look like anything at all. Just a shadow. A hole in the world. But what follows would change everything. Imagine waking up tomorrow to the news. A black hole has appeared. Not in some distant galaxy. Not at the edge of the cosmos, but here on our planet. Black holes are the most mysterious and destructive objects in the universe. Born from the deaths of massive stars, they bend space and time itself. Their gravity is so powerful that not even light can escape. For decades, scientists have studied them from afar, safely distant in galaxies light years away. But what if they weren't distant anymore? What if black holes began appearing here on Earth? This is not just a question of science. It is a question of survival. What would they look like? What would they do? And how long would humanity have before everything we know was swallowed? First, let's understand what we're dealing with. A black hole isn't just empty space. It's mass, compressed so tightly that the very fabric of reality caves inward. There are three main types of black holes we know: stellar black holes formed from collapsing stars, supermassive black holes sitting at the centers of galaxies, and primordial black holes, theoretical objects that could be as small as atoms, but impossibly dense. If black holes suddenly started appearing on Earth, it's unlikely they'd be the supermassive ones. We'd be gone instantly. Instead, imagine small ones, microscopic even. But don't let the size fool you. Even a black hole the mass of a mountain could wreak havoc on our world. It begins quietly. Somewhere deep in the ocean, or maybe in the middle of a desert, a black hole forms. It may be the size of a coin. It may be smaller than a grain of sand, invisible to the naked eye. At first, nothing seems unusual, but slowly, gravity begins to distort its surroundings. Water bends, dust spirals, and then atoms themselves begin to fall inward. Black holes do not suck like vacuums. They pull with gravity so absolute that space itself curves around them. The closer you get, the less chance you have of escaping, and Earth would have no chance at all. To understand the danger, compare it with history. In 1971, Stephen Hawking proposed that tiny black holes could exist left over from the Big Bang. If they did, some might even pass through Earth without us knowing. Small enough to slip through matter without immediate destruction. But if they were just slightly larger, their appetite would grow. They would consume atoms, then molecules, then chunks of matter, slowly, relentlessly. Now picture it on our planet. A black hole appears in the Earth's crust. At first, it might sink into the ground, pulling rock and soil inward. You wouldn't see it, but seismic sensors would begin to register strange patterns. Earthquakes in places where no fault lines exist, vibrations that make no sense. Day with thee, scientists detect anomalies. At first, they believe it's a glitch. Instruments show gravity shifts far stronger than expected. Day 20 reports come in from across the globe. A strange, localized gravity well near the ocean floor. The black hole is pulling water into a spiral, creating a whirlpool that seems endless. Ships disappear without a trace. Day 30 panic spreads. The world governments issue statements, but no one has answers. The black hole is growing. Slowly, but undeniably. What happens next depends on its mass. If it is small enough, it may evaporate through Hawking radiation, fading away before causing major destruction. But if it is stable, the nightmare begins. The black hole does not choose. It does not aim. It simply consumes. Piece by piece, it takes matter into itself. Rock collapses inward. Water vanishes. Air bends around its invisible edge. Imagine standing a mile away. The ground begins to tremble. Dust rises and drifts toward a point you cannot see. Birds cannot escape its pull. Not even sound behaves normally. Within weeks, the black hole burrows deeper into Earth. And once it reaches the core, the fate of our planet is sealed. The molten heart of Earth would be devoured. Gravity would destabilize. The magnetic field, our shield against solar radiation, would collapse. The surface would fracture. Oceans would boil. And still, the black hole would feed. In distant galaxies, we see the wreckage of black holes. Stars torn apart, planets shredded. Even light itself curved into ghostly arcs called gravitational lenses. But never before have we imagined that destruction here on our fragile blue world. So, how long would Earth last? Could we fight back? Could humanity survive the arrival of black holes? The truth may be worse than we think, because black holes do not just destroy matter, they warp time itself. As the first black hole grows within Earth, clocks near its event horizon begin to slow. For those close enough, seconds stretch into hours. Reality fractures. We are left with an impossible question: if time breaks on Earth, does humanity break with it? And if more black holes appear, one after another, would our world be consumed in days, hours, or perhaps instantly erased from existence? This is where the true nightmare begins. Time fractures. Seconds stretch like rubber. A single heartbeat feels eternal. Near the black hole's edge, the very laws of physics unravel. To stand close is to stand at the edge of infinity. But the black hole does not care about time. It feeds. Earth's crust cracks. Oceans spiral. The planet itself begins to break under the relentless weight of its own devourer. And humanity watches powerless. Once a black hole appears, its hunger cannot be contained. If it embeds itself deep within Earth's core, the planet's stability collapses. Tectonic plates shift violently. Supervolcanoes awaken. The magnetic field disappears, exposing the surface to lethal solar radiation. At first, the destruction is localized. An ocean draining into nothingness, a mountain collapsing into itself, entire regions trembling under gravity's impossible pull. But soon, the effects spread worldwide. Weather spirals into chaos. Without the magnetic shield, solar winds strip away the atmosphere. Oxygen thins. Temperatures plummet by night and scorch by day. And still, deep below, the black hole feeds on the heart of the world. In those first desperate weeks, governments would gather. Scientists would search for answers. Could the black hole be destroyed? Could it be contained? The answer, grimly, is no. Nothing can resist it. No weapon, no barrier, no wall of steel. Nuclear warheads would vanish into its event horizon without a sound. Even light cannot escape. Humanity's only hope would be escape itself. But escape to where? Mars? The moon? Even if ships were launched, they would carry only a fraction of Earth's billions. For most of humanity, there would be no salvation. Only the slow realization that the ground beneath them was collapsing into eternity. Month 20. Earthquakes and volcanic eruptions become constant. Cities fall. Millions perish in days. Month 20, the atmosphere thins. Sky darkens. The auroras, once beautiful lights, now cover the entire planet as charged solar particles strike directly. Radiation rises to lethal levels. Crops wither. Famine spreads. Month 3-day oceans spiral downward, drawn toward invisible points of annihilation. Tsunamis no longer crash. They vanish, swallowed whole. Month 4, the black hole at Earth's core grows to critical mass. Gravity fractures the planet's crust. Continents crack apart. The Earth begins its final collapse. What does it mean to live knowing your planet is dying? Civilizations would crumble, not only from the physical destruction, but from despair. Religions would declare apocalypse. Governments would dissolve. In every corner of the globe, humanity would confront the end of its story. Yet there might be a strange sense of unity. For the first time, every person on Earth would face the same fate. Borders, conflicts, divisions, all rendered meaningless in the shadow of a black hole. In space, black holes devour stars. When they consume enough matter, they can merge, becoming larger and stronger. If multiple black holes appeared on Earth simultaneously, the consequences would accelerate. Two black holes could spiral toward each other, merging violently, releasing a burst of gravitational waves so powerful it would ripple across the universe. For Earth, that would be the final strike. But even a single black hole is enough. The planet's mass would shrink into a singularity. From the outside, Earth would appear to collapse into nothing. Its entire history, every life, every memory, reduced to a point smaller than an atom. To the rest of the universe, Earth's destruction might barely be noticed. Another planet swallowed. Another world gone. Stars would continue to burn. Galaxies would continue to turn. But from within, it would feel like eternity. Near the event horizon, time slows. If you stood at the edge of Earth's black hole, you would see the universe race forward. Stars would burn out. Galaxies would fade. Billions of years would pass in the blink of an eye, all while you fall deeper, slower, forever. This is the cruel paradox of black holes. To be consumed is to witness eternity in silence. At last, the planet itself collapses fully. Gravity overcomes structure. Earth is compressed, crushed into a singularity. From space, it happens in moments. 1 second, a blue world alive with oceans and forests. The next, a flash and nothing. In its place, a black hole drifts silently in orbit around the sun, a void where Earth once was. The universe does not care. For billions of years, it has created and destroyed. Stars are born. Planets die. Black holes roam like predators in the dark. Earth would simply join the countless worlds already lost. And yet, there is something haunting in this thought. Everything humanity has ever created, art, music, science, love, memory, vanishing into a point of infinite darkness. A reminder that, in the scale of the cosmos, we are fragile. If black holes began appearing on Earth, there would be no escape, no victory, only annihilation. But here lies the greater question, what if it isn't only Earth? What if, one day, black holes begin appearing across the universe? Not by chance, but by design. And if something, or someone, is placing them, what purpose would such destruction serve?